Hi, my name is Ian Gack with Exposed Swing, and today I want to talk about getting the proper depth of contact. First of all, what is depth of contact? Simply, it's just how far we're letting the ball travel, or how deep is it getting before we make contact. Whether it's way out front or way deep or anywhere in between, it's just how far we're letting it travel. One of the big mantras throughout baseball, and one of the things that I heard from Little League all the way through professional baseball, I'm sure everyone out there has heard as well if you play baseball, probably even softball too, is hit the ball out front. Hit the ball out front. Well, if we're always trying to hit the ball out front, a lot more goes wrong for us than goes right. First of all, if we're trying to hit the ball way too far out front, we're trying to hit it right out of the pitcher's hand, we lose pitch recognition. Okay, unless it's that perfect fastball that we thought it was going to be or guessed it was going to be and it runs right into our bat out here, we're usually getting ourselves into trouble. We're not giving ourselves the right amount of time to recognize fastball, curveball, slider, changeup, knuckleball, whatever's being thrown up there. All right. And when we lose that pitch recognition, that's typically when you see the swings and misses at curveballs by 2 and 3 feet, or the sliders by a couple feet. I know I was guilty of doing that. I know I've seen lots of players doing that, especially at the younger ages, but you see it even at the professional level. Guys trying to hit the ball too far out front, slider, curveball instead, they miss it by 3 feet, and that's when you look kind of silly up there. The other thing that happens, we start losing our mechanics. We start trying to make contact way out front like this. First thing that typically happens, we start dropping the backside, we're reaching out there, barrel starts dropping, get a lot of pop-ups. We try to overcompensate for the barrel dropping, get the rollovers, you run out of barrel, all of a sudden we're capping it off the end, you send it spinning towards the first base line, or you get the swings and misses like I talked about. The other thing, we lose power, definitely lose power. We got to have something behind it to really be able to drive it. We're trying to make contact at extension, and a lot of coaches confuse contact point with extension. We're not going to get the most amount of power out of it. Okay, we're not going to have our body behind us. We're not going to really have anything behind it to drive. Now, if you use the punch analogy, not that I'm any kind of a fighter, but I know I don't want to try and hit somebody like this. I probably want to have something behind it to drive through it. Same thing with hitting. I want to have something behind it to be able to drive through it. So a little bit of bend in my arms, have my chest behind me, and be able to stay directional with my power, be able to have something behind it to drive through it. Where is the proper depth of contact? First of all, pitch down the middle. We're going to go right off our front foot. Okay, so this is again from where you stride to, from where we get to our hitting position. Okay, so for my hitting position, I get to right here. I'm going to line that ball up with the front part, with my front foot, right off the big toe is the checkpoint I typically like to use. If we're off by an inch or two deeper, off by an inch or two farther forward, you're probably going to be okay. But right off the front foot, right in line with the front foot, that's where we want to be on the pitch down the middle. When I stride and load, when I get to that pitch down the middle, the ball right in line with my front foot, take my good swing path to get there, have some bend in my arms at contact, have my chest behind me, and I'm able to drive through it, through to extension, right? Have some good carry, some good power on the ball, hit a lot more consistent line drives. On the pitch in, we're going to go right outside the front foot. So now I stride and load, get to my good hitting position, I'm right outside the front foot. Okay, so if I get there, stride, load, get the contact, chest is still behind me, relatively have the same amount of bend in my arms, and I'm able to drive through it and extend to it, to the left field, to left center field, or right center field if you're a lefty. On the pitch away, again, we're using the front leg as our checkpoint, right off the inside part of our front knee. So I stride and load, get to my good hitting position, right off the front part, right off the inside part of my front knee. Okay. Again, if we're off by an inch or two on any of these, we're probably okay. We'll be able to put a good swing on it. Okay, so I got to stride load, get to my good hitting position, and I get to contact point, relatively have that same amount of bend in my arms, chest behind me, and able to extend through it, have my body behind me, able to drive it to right field, right, and get that good backspin on it instead of getting those slices. All right. Again, in relation to home plate, really doesn't matter because some people like to stand farther up in the box or some people like to stand farther back in the box, so you can't use home plate as any kind of a key for depth. Okay, you can use it for in and out, obviously for balls and strikes that way, but for contact point, out front or deeper, it doesn't work. Okay, off the front foot, off the front leg. All right, so everyone's different. We got to line up with that. So the plate relation to home plate doesn't really matter. If you freeze frame any big league hitter on their contact point on the balls that they're driving, not just if they maybe get a bloop hit on their out front on a pitch and they do a good job by staying square and staying through the zone and they ride it out and get a good little hit out of it, but you're talking about the balls that they're driving consistently, home runs, doubles, even hard hit singles on a line. This is where they're making contact most of 90-95% of the time. Will you see some guys in the big leagues or at any level hit a home run and they're way out here on the inside pitch? Yeah, you might see that occasionally. You might see a guy out a little bit out front on the pitch away too. But you're also going to see the guys pulling the ball in the inside half and getting it even deeper, right, than where I'm talking about, and still crushing balls to left field or right field, pulling it, or hit it even deeper on the ball to go to right field. You might see them a little bit farther out front too, but we're talking about the majority of the time where they're making contact, talking about the best hitters in the game. This is where they're doing it, right off that front foot, right in line with that front foot, pitch down the middle, right outside the front foot on the pitch in, right out the inside part of our front knee on the pitch away, having something behind it to drive. When we work in the cage, it's really important that we set the tee up in these positions, not constantly trying to hit the ball, again, way out front. You know, I spent a lot of years growing up in Little League through high school and even my first years in pro ball, setting the tee way out here and working this swing right here. Could I hit line drives pretty consistently in the cage off the tee? Yeah, but it's off the tee. I was reinforcing just that bad swing, trying to hit it way out here, and I spent a lot of years striking out, occasionally hitting home runs, but I was striking out, missing balls by 2 and 3 feet because I was trying to hit it way out there, out of the pitcher's hand. All right, when I really started to see the importance of letting that ball travel, getting the right depth of contact, that's when I became a much better hitter, started hitting consistently in games, hitting consistent power in games. All right, and you don't want to reinforce a bad swing by hitting it too far out front. All right, we're working side toss. All right, have your tossers say, hey, I want to work right off my front foot for the pitch down the middle, think off my inside part of my front knee for the pitch away, and then the pitch in right outside the front foot. All right, constantly work these depths of contact in the cage. One thing it does not mean is in the game is that we're going to wait until that ball gets here and then try and stride and load and hit it. No, we still got to get our good timing off the pitcher, which typically is getting our stride and load as the arm's coming forward, right? Maybe at release point, maybe a little bit sooner if he's a harder throw, but usually as the arm's coming forward is when we're going to start our stride and load. Still got to get on time and let that thing travel to this point, but not waiting until the last second, just trying to stride, load, and hit. That's not what it means. Okay, so stride, load, we're slow and good tempo, let that thing travel, and we're hitting it back here. Have something behind it, drive through the baseball. All right, thanks for watching. Don't forget to check out ExpoSwing.com.